Shaddoll Dino is easily one of the best going second decks because it takes full advantage of some of the best going second cards. In this video, I'm not only going to show you why Shaddoll can afford to allow your opponent to pop off with their combos, but how easily the deck can just simply break boards. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then make sure you destroy that subscribe button, but also be sure to hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong over here. So without further ado, I present to you a competitive Shaddoll Dino deck profile for the November 2019 format. There are plenty of fans that ask for certain requests, and to simply put it, ain't nobody got time for that. But I do have a community that loves to talk Yu-Gi-Oh! On my Discord, so if you guys are looking for some strong disciples to discuss topics with, then I think we have a really good place. But starting off with the Shaddoll Dino deck profile, we run 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I wouldn't run more than 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because in deck building theory, you either run a card at 3 because you really want to see it, or you run a card at 3 because you don't mind seeing 2 in your hand. And this is a card that I feel I would struggle with seeing 2 in my hand because I can't consistently get 4 dinos into the graveyard with a Shaddoll Dino deck. 2 copies of Dinosaur Packer Traps for the exact same reason. Keep in mind, these big dino monsters are technically searchable. You can special summon these bad puppies to your side of the field to disrupt your opponent, and this is an excellent going second card. Next is only 1 copy of Overtext Questless. This card is used to fuel into your big pill, which gets you into all of your dinos. And then for the little guys, of course, we run 3 copies of Soul Eating. This is the heart and soul of the deck. The only normal summon, like the only legit normal summon in the deck. I thought about running Armageddon Knight, but Armageddon Knight can only send dark monsters, meaning I can only send Shaddolls or my Overtext. And you know, just when it came down to a space issue, it just wasn't really worth it. We followed up with 3 copies of Miscellaneous Ceres. This is actually our only hand trap of the deck. It protects all of our dinosaurs. People actually try to use cards, activate cards to stop some of our critical dinosaur plays, and you just discard the Miscellaneous Ceres to, you know, prevent that from happening. And it's also a great extender. 1 copy of Giant Rex. This card is an amazing extender, being able to banish it and then bring it back to your side of the field for further link plays. And then 1 copy of Drak Elio. I play no synchros in this deck. This is just an extender. That's pretty much all it's there for. That's it for the dinos. For the Shaddolls, we actually run a pretty hefty engine, and there's a pretty big reason why. So 2 copies of Shaddoll Beast, 2 copies of Shaddoll Hedgehog, 2 copies of Shaddoll Squamata, and 2 copies of Shaddoll Dragon. Now, the reason why I run such a big engine is because I actually want to see my Shaddoll cards. I run 6 fusion cards to be able to special summon Shaddoll Winda, but also on top of that, seeing your Shaddoll cards in your hand is a really good thing. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can trigger your Shaddoll monsters if it destroys it due to its effect, and on top of that, they all have some pretty good effects. Dragon allows you to bounce an opponent's card, Squamata destroys, Hedgehog searches fusion, and Beast allows you to draw 2 cards and discard 1. Every single one of these cards are just phenomenal, and being able to see them in your opening hand sequences is not a bother. One thing I do want to say is that we don't play Shaddoll Falco. I don't think Falco is a good card right now just because it's so slow, but other than that, this is pretty much the Shaddoll engine. From there, we followed up with the Spice. I can't wait till Konami brings this card to 3. 2 copies of Performage Damage Juggler, 2 copies of Performage Hat Tricker, and 1 copy of Performage Trick Clown. Now, the reason why this is just so busted, technically this is a hand trap, prevents our opponent from messing us over or, you know, going for game, but this is so busted because these are extenders in their own right, and they play very nice with the Dino concept. More often than not, since this is a going second deck, we want to go second, our opponent's gonna put 2 monsters to the side of the field. Well, Performage Hat Tricker actually allows us to special summon itself for free as long as there's 2 monsters on the side of the field, which gives you your rank 4 plays or your link plays, and Hat Tricker is an amazing target for Shaddoll Fusion, sometimes when you don't want to send DJ. DJ is really good when you want to discard it for certain card effects, so you can actually advance your strategy destroying your opponent's cards and then search either of these cards to your hand for future plays. Keep in mind, Trick Clown is also a great discard target too for extra link fodder. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, I run 3 copies of Fossil Dig, That's not really much else to say. I want to search into my Soul Eating. 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion and 3 copies of Shaddoll Fusion. Again, I run a huge fusion engine, and even when I'm forced to go first, having this is amazing because the other win condition is if you're forced to go first, is to make Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and Shaddoll Winda. A lot of decks just can't deal with that. Sky Striker got hit tremendously, so players are playing Sky Striker less. When you open with this board against certain strategies like Requester Solomon Great, they kind of can't play out to this. It's really hard for them to play out to this, especially if you have other cards to back it up, like Miscellaneous Ceres to protect your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and whatnot. So seeing these cards in your opening hand sequence is just A-okay. I do run that 1 random copy of Mind Control. This was a 41 card deck, and I figured that yes, this deck can play Mind Control very well because I can take my opponent's monsters, use them for a link to advance my strategy, and then 3 copies of the best card going second, Super Polymerization. There has been far cries for this card to just be outright banned, and I don't only play 1 legitimate Super Polymerization target, and that's Starving Venom. What I've noticed about this deck is if, hypothetically, if I break my opponent's board, I can set the Super Poly, and I can use my opponent's monster and my Shaddoll Winda to fuse into another Shaddoll monster of my choosing. Also, if I have any of my Shaddoll monsters that I opened in my hand, I can normal summon one of them and then Super Poly with my opponent's card, breaking their board and getting me a Shaddoll monster. The card is just insane, and the Shaddoll monsters are really good themselves. 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill, and then 1 copy of Foolish Burial, which sums up the monsters and spells, no traps inside of this deck. Again, I want to go second and just wipe my opponent's board, break their board, and then just keep going. If you guys want to see an insane live game, then go ahead and check down below in the description as well. So for the extra deck, just 2 copies of Winda and 2 copies of El Shaddoll Construct. Construct is back, and quite a bit of time I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out what Construct does best, because we're not in 2014 anymore where Construct just dominates the Yu-Gi-Oh card game and you can like tribute it for Caius and all this other slow stuff. No, you actually need a win condition for it. So Construct is actually a really good extender, sending cards like DJ or Hat Tricker into the graveyard to allow you to special summon and gain a ton of resources. 1 copy of El Shaddoll Grista for Solomon Great, and this card's amazing. It stops special summons. Yugiohtcg, which prevents special summoning from the graveyard, and Sheki Naga, which stops special summoning effect monsters. So these cards are really good Super Polymerization targets. It gives me coverage over any competitive deck right now. If I play against a light deck, I have Construct, Earth, Sheki Naga, Water, Yugiohtcg, Fire, Grista, so on and so forth. It just gives me complete coverage. Now, my 1 Super Polymerization is Starving Venom, but that's pretty much it for the fusions. Moving on to the links, there's not really much else to see there. This could be any link for, you don't summon it often, Nightmare Unicorn, Cypher Lord Lambda, Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, number 60, Durgarus is amazing. There are a lot of times where you want to dig deeper into your deck, and this guy can get 2 level 4s off the field, dig into your deck, make you discard a card, which this deck loves to do, and trigger some really good effects. And then lastly is Abyss Dweller, because it just completely destroys the meta. If you are forced to go first, you can make an Abyss Dweller, and that could be pivotal against the meta. Now that we are done with the deck profile, let me show you guys how this deck operates. Okay guys, so we know that the opponent, or this is a going second deck, and it gets 90% of the meta. Your opponent's going to have a monster special summon from the extra deck. I think there are a few exceptions, True Draco, Subterra, and whatnot. Don't special summon from the extra deck, which this deck can still play against really well. But more often than not, your opponent has a monster special summon from the extra deck. Let me show you how this particular deck works. Now, I could show you guys an Orcus board or a Solomon Great board, but if you guys actually want to see this deck in action, I do have a live duel. Also, if you guys, I'll leave the live duel link in the description. If you guys like what you see, this mat, I get it from Imperium Duelist. I'll also leave that link down in the description. If you use the code TheCaliEffect 10 off, you get 10% off your entire purchase. So opening up with our first hand, we're gonna get Hat Tricker, Quetless, Fossil Dig, Foolish Burial, and a Double Evolution Pill. On the outside looking in, this isn't the best hand. This is actually a mediocre hand at best, but what we're gonna do is actually start off with the Fossil Dig, which will allow us to get our Soul Eating. We'll normal summon our Soul Eating, gaining its effect. And right here, we already have the requirements to be able to spell summon Hat Trick if our opponent controls a monster, which means we'll be pretty fine. But I'm gonna show you guys how to turn a bad hand into an amazing hand. This could get Dino Wrestler and Pancatrops to help you break your opponent's board. But I'm just gonna go ahead and fetch an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Then I'm going to special summon the Performage Hat Tricker to my side of the field. We're gonna use both of these monsters for an Exceed summon. We're gonna make Douglas. And now I'm gonna dig deeper into my deck, detaching 2 materials to draw 2 cards and discard 1. So I'm gonna draw another Hat Tricker and another Fossil Dig. I wish that this was, my apologies, a different card, but we can actually still play with this. I'll discard the Overtext and trigger its effect because this is not cost to discard. It is discarded for or sent to the graveyard due to a card effect. We're gonna get another double evolution pill. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's all part of the process. And then next, I'll special summon Hat Tricker number 2. I'll activate Fossil Dig. This time around, excuse me, this time around, I'm gonna go ahead and get Giant Rex. I'll use both my Performage Hat Tricker and the Douglas for a Link summon. Oh, I was gonna make that. We can make Nightmare Cerberus to destroy a card on our opponent's side of the field. We can make Nightmare Phoenix to destroy spells and trap cards by discarding the Giant Rex. Whichever it may be, again, we are breaking board as we progress. And guess what? We have enough Dinosaur monsters in our graveyard to make a pretty sound board, banishing the Giant Rex and the Overtext. I'm gonna go ahead and special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to my side of the field, special summon the Giant Rex, but there's more. We can link this off into a Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn can bounce to Saryuja. And we have game again for double evolution pill. We'll banish our Soul Eating and a non-dinosaur monster. 2 special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno number 2 to our side of the field. And this is 9,200 damage while also breaking our opponent's board. This deck, I'm just telling you guys, it's way too strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and put everything up and then show you guys the next play. Okay guys, so on to the second and last test hand. Really excited to show you guys what this deck can do again. Again, this deck is pretty much predicated on going second. Of course, their going first combo is just to make Ultimate Conductor Tyranno with the Shaddoll Window forehead, and you're probably gonna shut the opponent down. So if I do open that going first sequence, I'll be able to show you that. But more often, we're gonna be focused on the going second. And granted, I hope you guys would be going against a Saryuja Skuldred, and that's it every single time. Of course, you'll be focusing on a different set of problems, and I can't necessarily be there for every single situation, but I can show you how much disruption this deck can bring. So game or second test hand, we are going to open a really good hand. If we're going first, this is what you would do, excuse me, is you normal summon the Soul Eating effect, which pretty much can't be stopped because you have the Miscellaneous Saris in your hand. You can add any of your dinos to your hand, whether it is an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Tyranno might be the best idea. Then you follow up with your Shaddoll Fusion. You fuse these two. Oh my, what am I thinking? Yeah, what am I thinking? You don't have this. You don't have this. You go Soul Eating. I was thinking of something completely different, but you go Soul Eating into the Overtext. And then you go Shaddoll Fusion, fusing these 2 bad puppies. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right there. To make the window, trigger that effect, trigger Beast or Hedgehog's effect, trigger Sanic's effect. So Sanic is gonna allow me to add a Shaddoll Beast, and Overtext would allow me to add a double evolution. And then we banish those 2 for double evolution. And with that, we would summon our Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which basically means our opponent can only special summon once. We can flip all their monsters face down by destroying a Shaddoll Beast, and we'd be able to draw a card, which pretty much, this really says we're going for game. So that's pretty much how you do the going first hand. Now, going second, with that particular hand would have been a different matter, but I don't even remember what those specific cards is. So let me just go ahead. I apologize, guys. I don't know if you guys heard that. If you did, well, then it is what it is. And if you didn't, let's go into the next going second test hand. So opening up, we're gonna get Giant Rex, Fossil Dig, Shaddoll Fusion, Shaddoll Fusion, and Super Polymerization. Boy, this is a you lose, I win type of hand. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the Fossil Dig. The reason why I go Fossil Dig first is because if they ash that, my bigger card, Shaddoll Fusion, can actually pop up with plays. Going ahead and get my Soul Eating, and then using Soul Eating's effect, we're going to get... I don't think we need Miscellaneous Ceres. I think we need the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno immediately. From there, I'll be able to activate the Shaddoll Fusion, and our monster is going to be the El Shaddoll Construct will summon, and our materials will be a... Well, I mean, I like drawing cards, so let's go ahead and send a draw card and a light monster. I'm gonna go ahead and send that Hat Tricker to the graveyard. A lot of times you actually want to, or a Trick Clown, a lot of times you want to send Trick Clown to the graveyard to be able to pop off with that. But sending those two cards to the graveyard and triggering our El Shaddoll Construct's effect, I'm gonna send Shaddoll Hedgehog, and we'll resolve those lovely effects. So we'll search first. Actually, I wanna search first. This would have been the card, by the way. I'll search into my Squamata. I'll special summon, and then I will draw, which is another super polymerization. Doesn't really matter from there. So now, since I have a Shaddoll monster on the field, I can immediately just super polymerization, fuse their card with my card, which is just, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and use the Giant Rex. Using their card with my card, we're just gonna use the Saryuja Goldred for all intents and purposes. To special summon the Sheki Naga, getting rid of probably their most important card. Hypothetically, if they had cards that we wanted to fuse, we just use the El Shaddoll Construct and the Soul Eating for a link, and then we'd follow one from there. And then, I think I should have, yeah, I think I actually should have added the Miscellaneous Ceres that time around, but it's all good. Actually, no, it's still fine. We'll use these two monsters for a link. We can go ahead and go to Nightmare Phoenix if we want to destroy another card. I'm going to discard the Super Polymerization this time. And then I can... Do I want to? Kind of do, but I can't. Yeah, I'll go ahead and go into another link. Oh, by the way, this would come back to our hand. We could make the Nightmare Unicorn, and I can discard this card to disrupt their card again. And now, since we have two dinos, there goes Soul Eating, there goes Giant Rex for Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Here's the kicker part, ladies and gentlemen. So I can, oh, this will get special summoned to our side of the field. I can attack, and then activate the Shaddoll Fusion, fuse these two bad puppies for the El Shaddoll window yet again, and attack with her, which should be game, but if not, I have that lock with the Ultimate Conductor being able to destroy the Giant Rex on the side of the field for extra disruption. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this deck. It's very powerful going second. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you really did, consider joining our Patreon. We have so many awesome rewards. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.